you all very much. You lucked out. You all know this is way past my bedtime, so this will be fast. You know, Gail, I'd like to answer your question about 5 years from now. 5 years from now, I hope Thomas Frank writes a book that says, "How did Kansas do it?" And I'm going to answer the question for you. Look at what Rochelle's wearing. We're not going to be a red state. We're not going to be a blue state. We're going to be a purple state. It's going to be my job to introduce Paul, but I'm going to work a little bit on some issues that you've been discussing. I think grassroots campaigning is very difficult. It is arduous, and you are all committing to do a lot of hard work for us, and you make those thankless calls, and people hang up on you, and sometimes they're rude. You just have to keep going. It's very important you make those calls. It's very important you go door to door and canvass. I just heard one of the candidates, female candidates canvassing, ran into 5 naked men. So I couldn't help but ask, so how were they? She said only one was okay. So I don't know, I've actually never run into a naked guy. And the advanced voter registration is going to be very important to us because there are an awful lot of single moms working 2 or 3 jobs that I know would be voting, but we need to make it easy for them to vote. What is different about this election in Kansas? I have never seen organization like I am looking out there today with all of you here. I am so excited by this conference. And I have to thank my good friends, and all these people are my good friends, and I'm making them stand up. Lynn Steffens, stand up. Janet Wright, stand up. Mary Connect, stand up. Fran Belden, Barbara Fuller, Ann Patterson, Lisa Callahan, Anna Anderson, Laura Dungan, Cindy Kelly. You are awesome. Wow. Woo! And the thing that makes this incredibly different is this extraordinary bipartisan participation. You know, Joan Wagner and Laura Kelly, Rochelle, Sheila, Sandy Prager, and I have all been friends for a very long time. And Rochelle and I have worked on a number of projects, but Rochelle, Sandy, and Sheila, we've all been on different teams. We wore different uniforms, but here's what I want you to remember. I never once doubted that any of those women were working for the best interest of Kansas. I now doubt what's going on in Topeka, and this time is very different. We are all focused on the same priorities and concerns, and I want to keep us focused on what unites us as Democrats and Republicans and not what divides us. Even in this wonderful gathering tonight, this is a great big tent. We have to remember what we all have in common because it's what's going to drive us to the finish line. And I think you were extremely well educated, and we are blessed to have all the people that gave incredible presentations today. Paul Davis and I have been working, as we have on Reroute, for over a year now. And people will say to me sometimes, "Aren't you getting tired? It's been a long time. Aren't you tired?" Hell no, I'm not tired. You want to know why? You don't want to know what gets me up in the morning ready to go? First of all, it's you. There are an awful lot of people in this audience that supported this team and a number of candidates very early when nobody thought we had a chance. Paul Davis and I thank you so much for that early support in terms of money, emotional support. We can't thank you enough. You gave us traction early. You know what else gets me up in the morning? Because I've been campaigning a lot. I remember a conversation with a room full of disabled adults and their folks, talking about the administration officials representing Governor Brownback threatening retaliation if they voice concerns about the effects of can care on their loved ones. Retaliation against the most vulnerable citizens we have in Kansas. What gets me going in the morning is the clear vision of a fiscal train wreck. Over $1 billion in projected deficits, which will defund our schools, universities, roads, water conservation, and services. And for what purpose? A red state experiment with no empirical evidence it will work or has ever worked. Trickle-down economics, which promised a shot of adrenaline, but in reality will drown our ability to invest in our state. What brightens my day is knowing with certainty Paul Davis will be an outstanding governor with the wisdom and common sense to weigh all factors before making a decision. A governor with a history of funding education, roads, and infrastructure. A governor who will put Kansas before ideology. When I started out partnering with Paul Davis, it's a little bit like going into business with somebody or being married to them, but we're both happily married, so that wasn't an issue. But going into business with somebody, because you don't know till you go into business with somebody. I couldn't be more proud to partner with Paul Davis. I've known Paul for over 20 years. I know the way he thinks. I know what his priorities are. I have watched him run this campaign with the discipline and focus unlike any I've seen in campaigns in a long, long time.